Hey guys, welcome back to my, wait, I'm recording, oh thank god. The amount of times I've actually thought I was recording and I wasn't. I do apologize for a little bit of a break in between my last videos. This time of the year is just so hectic for me with wedding season, campaigns, and something else that's happening in our life at the moment. I will divulge a little bit, divulge. I gotta look this up. Divulge. Wait, why am I saying that weird now? Divulge. Yeah, I will divulge a little bit more into it in the next couple of weeks. Pretty big news for us, so I'll keep you guys in the loop when that's all starting to happen. Today's look was heavily inspired due to the fact that it's cold today, so it's March here in New Zealand. We've had some really beautiful weather up until about the last couple of days. We've had a real shift in temperature, and that gets me really excited to start pulling out the warmer clothes, and pretty much the same when it comes to my makeup. Just having a little bit more richness within my color palettes, within my complexion. So I've gone with this really beautiful, kind of just gentle cranberry toned makeup look. The best part about this is you can wear it for the day or the night time, and it wears really well. The only thing you might need to incorporate from a day to night look is just some translucent powder. So just before I start today's look, I want to say a huge thank you to Sony for sponsoring today's video. Over the years, I've had a really good relationship with Sony, using their cameras for either vlogging, creating content, filming tutorials like I am right now. And today I'm going to be using their brand new ZV-1 digital vlogging camera. Now, this thing, when it arrived, I was so shocked by how tiny, how compact, slimline this camera is, and it's just the most functional camera when it comes to creating content. For me, I always like something that's going to be really quick and easy to pick up, lightweight and versatile when it comes to either taking photos or shooting content. Alright, let's crack into the look. Someone like me who is more of a dry combination skin type, I need heaps of hydration added into my routine, whether it's skincare or cosmetics, moving into those drier months of the year. I've done a very thorough skincare routine this morning, layering up heaps of hydration, hyaluronic acid and things like that. You'll also find when I prep my skin with cosmetic products, I like to have things that have quite a lot of hydrating benefits in it as well, just because it doesn't just stop with skincare. You really have to make sure that you're catering your skin in all aspects to make sure it's getting what it exactly needs. So this is the Vitamin Enrich Face Base by Bobbi. This is very luxe. I think it retails around $90 to $100. It doubles as a primer and a moisturizer. It is incredibly rich. So you're going to get a double whammy with this. You're going to get a lot of hydration, but it's going to act like a really nice glowy base to your foundation. So it depends if you want that really nice, rich skincare, but also cosmetic benefit. That's an incredible primer. And then if you want something that's going to be hydrating but work as a really nice cosmetic primer, I really like the Maybelline Face Studio Primer Hydrator. I'm actually going to use this today. I think this, I'm not too sure on the price point, but I feel like it ranges around maybe like $15, $17. Currently using two foundations at the moment, mixed together. I think I've talked about it multiple times about how I'm not like the biggest fan of NARS's Natural Radiance Longwear Foundation. I love the green and gold undertones that they provide. I think they're the best in the business, to be honest. Great coverage, but there's something about it that just doesn't always sit as nicely as I'd like it to. But the moment I mix it with something and get a different consistency in it, it tends to blend together really well. So yeah, I use these two. The other one that I'm using is the Tinted Hydrator by Tarte. So I mix these two together, and this is going to give me long wear for the day, but also a nice kind of like hydrated look to my skin. I also thought I would mention the brush that I'm using today, because I feel like every time I've used it, I've had so many questions. This is from Huda Beauty. This is their Duo Build and Buff brush. So freaking good. I love it. I'm going to show you guys how incredible this autofocus is on the camera. Boom. Honestly, I don't have a camera that focuses that quickly. A lot of the time I'm like trying to do this, trying to tap like the screen. It is so like instant, it blows my mind. You ready? I'm going to do a few more. Boom, boom, boom. Let's try this. Oh, so good. So for the concealer today, I'm going to be using the Infallible More Than Concealer. This stuff is insane. It's super thick. I love myself a bit of concealer, I'm not going to lie. But you don't need a lot. Like a little goes a very long way. I'm just going to put some here, here, and a little bit on my lids just to set that area again. This is, in my opinion, a really good dupe to Tarte's shape tape. I always mark that up, like without a doubt. I really like to work it into the inner corner of my eye where I hold probably the most depth, and then just on the outer corner to lift up the appearance of the eye, and then set that lid. So for bronzing, I'm going to be using my oh so favorite bronzer by Fenty Beauty Private Island. I don't think you guys are going to see any other bloody bronzer on my channel until like it's completely gone, because I love this thing, it's so good. So again, I like to bronze before I lay down my translucent powder. I just find when I'm working with damp skin and gently working, when I'm gently working the bronzer into it, it just gives a little bit more of a silkier, natural finish. It's not so powdery looking, and it just blends really seamlessly. You've just got to be really gentle with your application. So for the blush, I'm using Clarins Jolly Blush 02 Cheeky Pink. You can see it's got quite a bit of depth to it, unlike, you know, those super pinky, peachy tones. This one's got a little bit more of a berry undertone to it, which I really want for the look that I'm going with today. So I'm just using a nice kind of medium-sized brush. For this look, I really want to look like I've got a bit of a flushed look through my cheeks. So it's really just keeping to the apples of the cheeks and then going upwards, ever so slightly restricting the movement than you usually would. And when I'm applying, I've just got the smallest amount of the blush on my brush, because I know blush can be quite a scary product to work with and you never want to put on too much. So just work with minimal and then slowly build it up. That's your best way of achieving the look that you're after without putting on too much. Okay, so now I'm going to set a couple of areas with some translucent powder. This one here is by Zoe Weber. This is called the Finishing Powder. Outstanding. So I just mainly go through the T-zone, and then I'm actually going to leave the outer areas a little bit more dewy and glowy and untouched, because those are the areas that I want to look nice and plump. So I've controlled it in all the right areas and plumped in the other. So this is where I've kind of like strayed away from wearing highlighter every day like I kind of used to. I just let the product be the gentle illuminator, so it looks like more of a natural glow from within without having a lot of product on the surface of my skin. So moving on to brows, I got some new brow pencils from Huda Beauty here. I've got 3 shades. This is called the Bomb Brows Micro Shaping Brow Pencils. I've got light brown, neutral blonde, and warm blonde. I'll go light brown. So this is the packaging here. Don't know why, it kind of reminds me of one of the Benefit brow pencils. So spoolie and a really nice fine tip. Wow, that is such a fine tipped product. So we'll give this a whirl and see what we think. So just really gently skim my skin with the product, and just kind of fill in areas that look a little patchy, where I might need a little bit more shape. So far I quite like this pencil. And then I'm going in with the brow plumper, as I always do, from L'Oreal. And I'm just gonna really push those brows up to look nice and wispy. I actually hate myself so much. I keep forgetting to push the bloody record button, and I get halfway through doing like my eyeshadow and then it turns off and I'm like, wow, I didn't even hit record. So anyways, let's go back to the beginning of this little segment of the tutorial. I am going to be using the Nudes in New York eyeshadow palette again. I know I've used it in my last tutorial. I am just such a huge fan because you can create so many different looks with this palette. Yeah, so because this is a little bit more of a cranberry warm look that I'm doing, I'm going to be using the shade Explorer all over my eye socket, a little bit towards my brow. Just to give it a little bit more depth and definition, I'm going to be using Voyage. So with the big fluffy brush, I'm taking that eyeshadow up quite high. Today I'm not going to be doing a heavy liner or anything like that, so I want the eyeshadow to sit quite prevalent but a little bit more subdued than I generally would, because I'm going to have a little bit more emphasis on my lips. I'm taking that darker shade Voyage with a small tipped brush and just emphasizing my eye socket with it. I'm not actually going to put a lot in the outer corner of my eye. I'm going to keep it a little bit more wider through there and just creeping a little bit of depth through here. So now I'm going to go in with the shade Socialist, and I'm actually just going to take this on the tip of my finger, and I'm just going to press this on the front to about halfway of my eye. So instead of using a shimmer, I'm just going with a nice matte shade today. So I've just curled my lashes, and now I'm going to be using Telescopic Mascara by L'Oreal. This was my freaking jam. Like, I'm not even kidding. Back in high school, this was my ride or die. Incredible mascara if you want something that's going to give you length and separation. Two lip products here that I wanted to show you guys. Depending on what you're after will dictate which one you go with. So this one here is a really nice kind of sheer high shine product from MAC. This is one of the new Glow Play lipsticks. It is shade 452, that tickles. Now I'm going to swatch it on the back of my hand because I'm actually not going to use this one today. Just show you guys the shade of that. It's got that really beautiful berry undertone. You can see it's quite a little bit more on the sheer side of things, and it's got a high shine. So it's going to hydrate and moisturize the lip, but it's not going to last forever because it has a lot more of a slip factor about it. This one here I'm going to work with. It is the Superstay ink crayon in the shade Speak Your Mind 75. I love this full coverage matte finish. It's definitely going to be more of a heavy durable lip to wear throughout the day. Yeah, it's just a little bit different. So now if you wanted to with something like this, if you don't want to wear it so full on, it's just patting it on and just rubbing it around and turning it into more of a balmy stain, if that makes sense. So what you could do is even take a tissue, pat it down, and it becomes a lot more gentle looking, a little bit more worn. Right, so just to set it all into place, I'm going to be using CoverGirl's Outlast Active Setting Spray. It's a really gentle mist, so I hold it about 30 centimeters away from my face. I actually don't spray it directly on the face. I kind of put it on an angle, so I allow the product to just gently kind of like fall onto my skin as opposed to just like directly hitting it. So yeah, that is the completed look. I really hope you guys have enjoyed today's tutorial. Again, just such a great look to really help you transition day to night, but it's great. It's one of those ones that just fits into every occasion. So I'll leave all the product descriptions down below in the description box. If you guys have got any questions or comments, feel free to drop them down below. Again, I just want to say a huge thank you to Sony for sponsoring today's video. I loved working with the ZB-1 vlogging digital camera. Oh, so great. And yeah, if you guys have enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe if you're new to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.